As a business owner, how do you forecast the next coming months with such unknowns, right? Not a political question,
Right.
just in general, right? Like because you probably, this is a huge assumption. There was probably no forecasting done before to think about something like this. Now
Right.
that it's at least ingrained in you in some capacity, what do you do as a business owner, as a musician, as a gig economist, as someone who, is like all of us working to put bread on the table? What do you do to forecast the future when uh, you know because and as I'm asking this question, I want to put a little bit more context into it. But now there's extra things that you have to do to it, right? So
Right.
I've been saying on this show many times something about like a COVID tax, where a restaurant has to come in and say, oh, well, we have to do this now. So
Right.
therefore, we can't afford that. We as a business can't afford this. So we're actually just going to add that tax on at the end of it. And I know Tim has seen at least one receipt with it now, if not others at this point. And so, is that how you forecast? You just, as a business owner, you just add a tax on the end of something. Like, how do you forecast the unknown, even though things were unknown before? How do you
Yeah.
forecast kind of the future of you as a business owner moving forward?
So I think it's as a musician, it's supremely difficult. And I say that because what has changed also for the music landscape is what these venues, these non-traditional venues, or the people who are able to put us back to work in some limited capacity at this point, there's a difference in what they are able to pay, willing to pay for the same amount of work that you used to get paid a lot more for. And so, because the financial aspects have changed, it's really the only way that you can predict whether or not you're going to be successful is one, that you are capturing all the opportunities that you have. Two, that you are stashing away, like, a a savings, a just in case fund, which many people in general, not just musicians, but many people don't have that, sometimes 6 months of, or even not 6 months, but 3 months is what I would say, 3 months, because if in 3 months, if you needed to transition out of doing music into another job, chances are good you could do that within that time frame. But if you aren't able to keep the lights on, aren't able to put food on the table for you and your family, then that's a really big problem. So you need to start looking at the financial aspects of it and see where the waste is and trim the fat, and just be very fiscally responsible. And I know that we're all bad about that. I'm an impulse buyer. You know, it's ridiculous the amount of gear that I have, that I don't need. And I'm looking at it as like, okay, well, dollars and cents of it. Like, this can go for this. This can go for this. If I needed to, I know where these opportunities are. But other than that, with the business side, it's all right. While we tried to run a lean operation, we didn't consider these things. Now you do have to build in for like my events, my music festival, Cottywomple. Like, we have to, in the 2021 budget, we are going to build that into the budget so that now I know and I can predict that there's going to be something wild that's going to come in terms of liability, responsibilities for myself, or making sure that, precautions are taken in place if I want to do an in-person event where we have seating arrangements in a certain way. We have social distancing like involved, and that's also going to take more human capital aspect. I'm going to need more workers to help me out, or more volunteers that I recruit to help pull this off. And so you have to basically just prepare for Murphy and the inevitability that Murphy's going to come and just stomp all over your sandcastle. Like, that's, I don't know that you can really fully prepare for it, but if you try to at least cover some of the bases, the touchstones, like, all right, I need to feed myself, keep the lights on, I need to do this, the minimum viable product of what I do, right? And if I can set myself up so that the minimum viable product will sustain me for at least 3 months, if I need to transition out into a different job, like to survive, then I've got that built in.